After ignoring Caitlin Clark for months, Nike abruptly changed its mind and put her face on a huge banner at the Indiana Fever Arena. What the fuck?
A women's basketball player. She deserves it! She deserves it!
After Adidas knocked, is this a sincere apology or only damage control? Let's examine this. Come on, it seems like Nike now realized they inked a $28 million contract with one of the biggest names in basketball after being completely silent about Clark for a long time and plastering her face everywhere.
Nike struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring her?
The worst part is that this isn't just about Caitlin and Nike. We're going to examine why this is significant for far more reasons than just one athlete and one. The entire situation is drawing attention to how large corporations handle women's sports. Are they truly involved in them, or are they merely following the trend when it suits them? To be honest, we need to start posing some challenging queries. You would think that a $28 million sale would garner some notice, but you're mistaken. It's astounding how Nike treated Caitlin Clark in silence during her historic rookie campaign. How did the biggest sports brand in the world overlook one of the best basketball players? Let's dissect this. A signature sneaker seems like a dream come true for any athlete, especially a rookie, and Nike promised her one when they signed Clark to a huge $28 million contract. However, while Clark was out there burning the floor, Whistle's Adidas was scheming their deal, and Nike was essentially Mia.
But despite winning unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year, they've got no plans for a Caitlin Clark shoe. Why not? Well, the official reason from Nike is an obvious lie. What are they hiding? Is sports losing popularity? No, Adidas has done pretty well over that time despite ending their partnership with Yeezy.
We are discussing a rookie who not only played well but also outperformed Clark, leading all rookies in points, assists, steals, viewership, and minutes played. Did I also mention that she became the first rookie in WNBA history to accomplish a triple-double? That's not just good, it's historic.
She was the unanimous MVP. She got a team into the playoffs when they hadn't been to the playoffs, I think, since 2016 or 2017. Led them in scoring. She led the rookies in scoring. She led them in assists. She averaged like 6 rebounds a game. I mean, three-pointers.
Since Clark was setting records one after another, it seems as though they forgot they had one of the most attractive names in basketball on their team. It appeared that Nike's marketing team was taking a long vacation.
See that again. She came off of playing in a national championship game that had over 20 million people tuned into that game, then going straight into the draft, and then going straight into the WNBA and breaking an insane amount of records.
Let's put this in perspective. When LeBron James first joined the league, Nike had his signature shoe ready to go, and they were all over it, promoting him like crazy. However, with Clark, nothing stops them from promoting women's basketball. Take a look at how they've been pushing A.A. Wilson, who has her shoe and ads all over the place. What's wrong with Clark?
He reports Nike wants to prioritize A'ja Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the third time.
This hush wasn't ignored. Sports analysts were raising eyebrows and spectators were scratching their brains. Questions were circulating on social media, with many wondering if Nike even knew who they signed and why they couldn't be like Wilson.
Wilson capitalized on Caitlin Clark, and they put out signature Caitlin Clark balls and other merch that literally sold out within minutes of them going live. The hype that Caitlin Clark had going into this season, we will not see that again.
Nike's response was radio silence, and the contrast was so stark that it became a meme. It was like watching a blockbuster movie premiere without any advertising, with Clark breaking records and drawing huge crowds.
She had the craziest momentum that we have ever seen with any athlete in the history of ever. And the fact that Nike did not capitalize on that. The fact that they are the biggest athletic sportswear brand in the world, and we didn't hear a peep out of them the entire season, it truly makes me wonder, like, if I were Caitlin Clark's management, and again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I would be truly rethinking the deal that I signed up for. How do you miss an opportunity like that?
It appeared that way from the outside, and Adidas was waiting for the right time, but more on that in a moment. Critics began pointing fingers, implying that perhaps there was more to this than just oversight. Some questioned whether internal politics at Nike were at play, with Clark being benched in favor of more established stars.
How do you not capitalize? It doesn't make any sense at all. And playing the politics where, oh, we need to release Asia's shoe first. Well, no, it's not Caitlin's fault that you haven't done anything for Asia yet. And maybe think about, why haven't you released something for Asia yet? Is it because you're not sure how it will sell? And if that's the truth, like, that's just business. Why are we coddling these women? You wouldn't see this on the men's side. If a brand thinks they're gonna sell shoes with a player, they're gonna release some stuff.
And speaking of timing, there have been rumors that Nike may not release Clark's signature shoe until 2026, which is a very long time in sports terms. By then, who knows how many more records she will have broken.
Nike hasn't produced one ad or commercial featuring Clark since she turned pro, and despite a signature shoe being part of Nike's agreement with Clark, it may not be released until 2026, according to sports business reporter Ethan Strauss.
This goes beyond simply one person being ignored. It also raises important concerns about how major brands handle women's sports compared to men's. Are they truly involved, or are they only lip service? It appears like Nike made a huge mistake.
Nike, and you've done it for other players. Wemby's shoe was out. LeBron, when he came into the league and there was so much hype around him, he also was somebody who signed a $100+ million, I mean, his contract was like so insane, but hundreds of millions of dollar contract with Nike coming out of high school. LeBron had a shoe going into his first season. They didn't skip a.
One critic summed up the displeasure perfectly when they stated, "I think it's more political in nature as to why Caitlin Clark isn't receiving the praise, the commercials, the ads, the merchandise that Nike hasn't produced." Since going pro, Clark has been in one advertisement or commercial.
Since she has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing.
The answer may surprise you. Rumors are circulating that Adidas is eyeing Caitlin Clark with a potential $30 million endorsement deal. Yes, you heard that right, $30 million. That's not just a step up from Nike's offer, it's a whole staircase. Just when everyone thought Nike had fumbled their chance with Clark, a new player stepped onto the court. Adidas wasn't just interested, they were ready to go all in. Adidas isn't hanging around because they've recognized Clark's potential and are prepared to place a large wager.
You know what the contract is?
I want to say it's $3 million a year for 8 to 10 years. It's almost $30 million, something like that.
However, it goes beyond simply hurling cash at Clark. Adidas is acting cleverly. They have sports legends like Billie Jean King singing Clark's praise, which gives her a lot of star power. It seems as though Adidas took a look at Nike's playbook, saw all the blank pages, and chose to create their own narrative. Let's take a moment to discuss the Caitlin Clark effect. These are actual numbers, not just hype. WNBA viewership is through the ceiling, and Clark's games are drawing an average of over 1 million viewers, which is not only fantastic but revolutionary.
You look at the numbers with Caitlin Clark there. Her first playoff game, drawing 1.84 million viewers. Ridiculous numbers. The highest rated playoff game since Game 2 of the 2000 WNBA Finals. This wasn't even just an opening round game back in 2000. This was one of the finals games. So this clearly is showing how much of an impact Caitlin Clark is having.
While Nike was busy doing whatever they were doing, Adidas noticed that Miss Clark was more than just a player. She was a phenomenon. It's as if they discovered a gold mine that Nike was utilizing as a parking lot. Adidas recognized Clark's star power and the potential for some significant sales.
This will be a whole new offering and probably tap into a market
that Nike and other sports apparel companies really haven't before. Obviously, little girls are going to wear them. I think plenty of dudes are going to wear them. You're just going to see those things in high demand.
Adidas is making a statement with this Adidas contract that goes beyond sneakers. They are investing in the future, and that future looks a lot like Caitlin Clark. They are saying, hey, we see you women's sports, we're not just here for the men's game.
Stated Adidas global ambassador congratulating Caitlin Clark while the brands that signed her didn't even acknowledge her achievement. Shame on you, Nike. Also, I'm still shocked that after it was leaked that she won the WNBA Rookie of the Year, they didn't address the matter or recognize her as the winner.
What's really crazy is that Adidas is out there making moves. Nike is peddling outdated products while ignoring what could be a generation's biggest marketing opportunity. Also known as AIA Wilson, it's similar to delivering newspapers in your garage with a Ferrari. Adidas Billie Jean King even chimed in to give Clark some love, discussing her accomplishments and influence on the game.
Take a look. This Nike billboard honors the all-time NCAA Division I scoring leader.
Nike eventually pulled out the red carpet for Clark, but it turns out that they weren't completely asleep at the wheel. Instead, they were just moving slowly. What took them so long, and more importantly, is this too little, too late, or the beginning of a big comeback? Let's discuss Nike's impressive gesture. The big question is whether this is a sincere apology or just Nike trying to salvage their relationship with Caitlin before she joins Adidas. The timing is suspicious to say the least, as Adidas is making moves. After months of radio silence, they abruptly slapped a huge banner of Caitlin Clark at the Indiana Fever Arena. Talk about a wake-up call. As if they discovered Clark's contract stashed in the back of a drawer and realized, oh yeah, her. Nike decides to remember they have a superstar on their roster.
The WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million for 8 years.
Let's face it, this goes beyond just Clark and Nike. This entire incident has revealed a more serious problem. How do brands handle women's sports? Are they truly involved, or are they simply catching up after realizing they've missed the boat? Adidas had to express interest before they realized they had a $28 million contract with one of the biggest names in basketball. Since Clark has been setting the court on fire and breaking records left and right, everyone is talking about this situation. Fans are furiously criticizing Nike for their failure, and they're right. It's 2024 and we still need to remind major corporations that women's sports are important. However, there is a silver lining. Public pressure works. All of those disgruntled supporters and the social media shoutouts changed everything. Nike was unable to ignore the clamor any longer. It serves as a warning to all brands that they cannot neglect women's sports and expect to get away with it. Let's examine the Caitlin Clark story in relation to Nike. One player and one brand aren't enough. The way that large corporations handle women's sports in contrast to men's is being brought to light by this entire fiasco. Are they genuinely interested in these sports, or are they only following the trend when it suits them? This could be a game changer for how brands treat female athletes, so what's next? Keep pushing, don't let up, demand equal opportunities and fair treatment in sports endorsements because, guess what, the real MVP of all of this is you, the fans, who stood up for Caitlin when Nike would forget that the next time you see a brand sleeping on talent. Nike's last-minute banner for Clark was too little, too late. But here's what happened because fans and supporters refused to remain silent. Your voice matters, folks, use it.